This poor woman, she was really in some need. In that culture too, the way God set up the corporate worship at the temple, you're to throng in joy to be among the people who are worshiping God at the temple. Unless, of course, you've touched something that's been dead, like a carcass of an animal, or unless you have a bleeding problem like this woman did, you're not allowed to join. Can you imagine 12 years not being able to worship with your church family? How do you think she was feeling? God set up the temple ministry that way, not because he hated women, but because he wanted to teach society how difficult it was to be right with God. They had a very elaborate sacrificial system, and that if you didn't do everything just right, you were excluded. Now in the New Testament, thankfully, Jesus has died on a cross and paid for all of that so that sinners like us can come to a holy God and receive forgiveness. But in the Old Testament, the imagery was very stark. People are not worthy to be in God's presence. They have sins, and coming to a holy God with sin is not going to work because God hates sin. So to go through all these intricate rituals was a picture of how hard it is to have fellowship with God. So hard, in fact, that you and I can't do it. We're not worthy. Our flesh is never going to get us there. But Jesus' blood washes away our sin. And when we accept Christ, there's a wonderful exchange. Our sins go on him, he dies for them, and his righteousness comes on us, and we're accepted with God.